Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. I hope everyone had a good first week of 2026. Um, Welcome to our stream for this week and first streamer of the year. I'm Miguel. I'm your ST. And for today's episode of Beyond Armageddon, before we start, I would like to make a few announcements. Firstly, the book that we launched a while back that has gotten updates quite recently at the end of last year. Uh, the link to it is in the description. You should definitely check it out. The book is an addition to V5, allows you to play Sabbat characters. The name of the book is Sabbat the Schism. It has a lot of good shit. Allows you to play elders. Allows you to try out some more V20 feeling takes on disciplines without losing the V5 charm and mechanics. Second announcement, we would like to thank Mark, aka RS Experiments. He's a former player within this group. He has lovingly donated or volunteered his music for both the intro and the pause screens. So if you like those songs, definitely go check his SoundCloud page in the description below. And lastly, follow us both here on Twitch and YouTube. You have a full catalog of past episodes on YouTube. As we come to the end of Beyond Armageddon, we will be starting new games after that, and there are other projects ongoing, so definitely keep a lookout for that. We stream every week on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central European Summertime, 10 a.m. Pacific, and 1 p.m. Eastern. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy tonight's episode of Beyond Armageddon. Let's get into it. We join Gabriel on a rather cold winter night, the beginning of January. He parks his vehicle near the infamous library. The library Jack usually uses for his more dangerous experiment and his most time-consuming studies. Gabriel, as you exit the car, your feet feel the cold, the snow below you. As you look at the tall building in front of you, you always find it a bit odd that there's always seemingly a flock of circling birds right at the tippy top of the library. Yet, at the same time, might be intentional from your packmates. You take your gear and you begin to make your way to the front door. In the meantime, Jack, Abel, both of you, you're knocking at the front door, echoing throughout the library.
Did you order something?
Not really.
Also, I have potence, so it's a loud knock.
Swear to God, if it's another caroler.
Do you owe money?
I wouldn't say so. I'll just go check.
You go to the front door, and as you pry it open, you see Gabriel wearing quite bulky coat and carrying a small
Laptop case.
laptop case. That's I was forgetting the name of those bags. But yes, you see him carrying a laptop case in one of his hands.
Well, hello there.
Hello. I need your input on something. I've been tracking disturbances around town.
Sure.
What kind of disturbances?
I'll go in and make sure the door shuts behind me before continuing the conversation. Of the time variety, there's another true brouhaha around. And I've made a spreadsheet of where I've found the disturbances and when. And they're almost trackable.
Well,
Predictable, even.
after, what is it now, like a year? More than a year in the pack, right? Jack will probably like have a stack of fucking foldable maps, just spare maps for just making notes on them. He'll just grab like the first one, unfold it on the table. Let's see.
And there's more. As I begin to unpack my laptop, and I'll flip it open and turn it on. I also caught video of the one that I believe is responsible, although they were careful to make sure their face wasn't visible. But there's something about their body language that I didn't quite understand. Something there. I thought someone else's eyes on it could help.
Let's see.
So I'll plug in the thumb drive and play that for them.
What you see is essentially a number of snippets of recordings. Each one lasts only a few seconds, but very clear that something odd is happening in the video. Always the same person dressed sort of the same way. Very covered up, very incognito, but you can tell the guy's build. It's definitely a man. Pretty average height, quite thin, not very muscly, not very bulky. And you can tell there's some odd behavior, like everything else in the video seems to be quite normal, and the timestamp seems to be, within those clips, continuous and unchanged, yet he seems to almost pop a few frames sometimes. And then he turns the corner, and another camera that should catch him doesn't. I would like to hear any questions you might have in terms of clarify what you see on video.
There's probably like some reference to where the footage was taken.
Yeah, definitely. All the footage is taken around the church.
Which church?
Yeah,
The
church.
The church.
the La Sombra Church, the one that you guys had me start watching, and I did not stay there physically to watch it. I set up tech for that.
Quite a few cameras, actually. You notice the number of angles you get of this guy are quite numerous. In fact, that's one of the reasons why you can tell it's so odd that his behavior shows up this way, because he should show up in multiple cameras. When he turns a certain corner, he should show up on another camera, yet he doesn't. So it's like he turns the corner and vanishes.
Yeah, I've got the church wired to the nines, so...
For reference sake, do La Sombra show up normal-ish on your camera?
They show up on one of the kinds of cameras I have, and not on the other.
Yeah, it was specifically mentioned before, so I can answer this question. There is one purely digital camera that fails. It definitely shows that there's something wrong with them, but it's almost like a sort of fuzzy picture. You can still tell who it is. You can still tell there's someone there. There are other cameras that simply don't catch them at all.
Yeah, because mirrors.
And I have both wired up around the church so that I can tell who the fuck is who.
Yeah, like I said, it's pretty obvious who is who. You can tell Ramon apart from Isaac, for example. You see clips of both of them.
Yeah, like if not the face, then probably the clothing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the mysterious man in question is far too covered up for you to tell any of his features apart from height and build.
He does have a crook in his neck. He walks with his head crooked forward.
Yeah. After Gabriel mentions it, you do notice there's sort of a crook in his neck and his posture. That's the only
Obfuscate
distinction.
won't let you bullshit the camera.
What?
You can roll into cult. Kindred lore.
I do be having 11 dice in that.
Hell
Would you
yeah.
like to take half? That's still plenty.
Well, officially, like VtM rules is like if you can bid the difficulty by numbers, you can just take one success. Yeah.
Okay. So with one success, what you would know is that you don't know of any case specifically where obfuscate can affect cameras.
Yeah.
You know that powerful users of obfuscate can probably trick someone watching footage live.
Yeah.
Recordings are trickier. It's possible someone came up with something, but very, very unlikely given, the whole logic.
It would probably
of how
affected the whole
works.
footage.
Yeah.
It probably would have affected the whole footage.
It would also
I
not
assume
explain
the person
these
doesn't ring a bell.
sort of jumps.
I assume I don't recognize the person.
kind of impossible to tell any
Yeah.
details, but I can have you roll if you'd like.
Sure.
So I'll give you the same options I gave Gabriel. Actually, I won't give you one of those options because you wouldn't get it. So perception tech or perception empathy, and that
Perception
will give
empathy
you
works.
different bits of information.
Careful or insight?
Insight would probably apply if you're rolling for empathy.
Yeah.
I should probably remind you something about my
Hey, listen.
clan.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Oh no.
Quite a few
What
times.
the fuck? Yes.
So the more obvious thing you can tell immediately, there's sort of a monotony to all of the movements. If you had to guess, it's either someone who's very, very used to doing this, or it's someone who can't muster a lot of who can't demonstrate a lot of
to it.
emotion.
Yeah.
So when you compare them to how Gabriel acts, I am
Actually
sure
quite
you
similar,
could
yeah.
surmise that it's very similar. Yes.
Which still is us nowhere because Gabriel had the reasonable theory. It's another truth.
And yet it's not someone you can recognize, right?
Correct.
For you, Abel, if you'd like to roll something, I can make a few suggestions, or you can ask what you would like to examine about the footage.
What are like the patterns of movement? Is there a place where this person frequents more than other places around the church?
Well,
So I can actually let Gabriel answer that.
yes. There was a hotel on the north of Santa Monica that this occurred at. The asylum. There were a number of dive bars that appear to have anarch leanings that they also appeared at.
Quick correction, former. They're all within Santa Monica.
Yeah, former anarch dive bars.
So this person is not blinking only around the church, but
No,
all
but
over
all
town.
around Santa Monica.
But regarding to the footage you currently are showing to us, that's all about the church.
Correct, because that's the only place I had access to footage of.
Okay, and specifically regarding the church, is there a specific camera where this individual likes to hang out in front of more than for other cameras? As if is he visiting a certain location around this church more?
You know what? That question. I will pull out the spreadsheet
All right.
Statistics.
Okay, so
and figure that out.
Given that Gabriel pulled out the spreadsheet, I would assume Jack is having a look over as well. Given that the
Yeah.
question was posed by Abel in the first place, Abel, with all the information you've gotten up till now, I'm going to have him make a roll, and Gabriel and Jack, both of you are going to make rolls to assist Abel. So the roll for everybody is going to be int and investigation. Gabriel and Jack, essentially whatever successes you both get, we average that, half it, add it to Abel's roll.
Yep.
If it's a botch,
Yeah,
you're
that's-
actually going to remove,
I suppose in this case, analytical would apply.
Absolutely.
Would eidetic memory do anything for me here?
No, not really. You're looking
Okay.
over the spreadsheet once more, so it's not like you need to remember anything.
Does abstract thought apply?
Sadly, no.
Me got 4.
I'm spending a willpower for an automatic success.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I got 4 as well. Maybe 5.
Okay, great. That's 9 successes for Scroll.
The fuck?
I got. Is that
We're
counting my willpower?
We're not going.
Oh no,
We're not
no,
going
it's
easy,
10.
okay?
It's 10 because of willpower.
Yeah.
So we give Abel plus 7 successes.
Mm-hmm. Which is plenty.
Spicy.
So, working all together, you managed to get enough information together that you notice that while the locations are somewhat random, you do notice there is a common factor in all of those appearances. The time this person appears on camera is always exactly the same, and the motions that they do, while not one-to-one exactly the same, they are similar. And Abel, I will give you an extra tidbit of information because you asked the question. You begin to notice certain patterns to how the guy is moving and where he's going. And after you sort of think about the layout of the church and look at the footage, it seems he always appears from wherever he appears, he always moves from west to east. For almost exactly always the same distance. And it's not like he's in a hurry or with a lot of direction. Feels like he's wandering almost in a bit of a haze.
What about timestamps? Does he always appear at the same time?
Yeah.
So this is something that Gabriel actually managed to put together beforehand, so you'll get the information for free. The distance between the timestamps is always the same. Each appearance happens 2 weeks apart, yet he looks exactly the same in all of those.
The next appearance would be...
Well, sadly, while all of them are 2 weeks apart, they sort of come in batches from what you see. Batch where for about a month, maybe 2, he shows up 2 weeks apart. Then there's sort of a hiatus, and then it happens again. But in other parts of town, according to what Gabriel would share.
And Gabriel, you mentioned the time anomalies.
Yes. When he appears, it appears that that Temporis has been used, so I can feel it. I can feel the disruption in time. It's part of being my clan. That's how I've been tracking him.
So, we don't have the slightest idea who the fuck that is, why the fuck that is. But
I
we
have a
can...
calculation of when it will probably begin occurring again.
And
But is there like a pattern to where
Yes.
he appears in order if we include the other locations than the church?
Yes, that's how I've been tracking him, and it seems that I'm always there about when one would expect those things to happen. Either it's waiting for me, or it's because of my unique clan abilities, I have an easier time tracking it. I'm not sure.
So where is he this month?
The asylum.
that's... There is a sure way to capture the guy, but I'm not quite fond of the methods.
Oh,
Oh. One certain paladin. Do you mind sending me the footage? Like, some snippets. I have people who can
I pulled
try
the
and
thumb drive and offer it to you.
That's my... Actually... Oh, bitch, I have two in the computers. I do have the fucking
You
Type-C to
can-
normal USB.
You can
Adapter.
look
Oh,
at the
thank God.
thing, look at the computer, and know where to plug it.
I do have the fucking Type-C to USB 2.0 adapter.
Thank God. I don't have to figure something else out.
You know how to
It's
press
just
the
an
on
adapter.
button.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I'll just throw the adapter connected to my phone and send like couple of snippets to my techie ghoul, the tech phase. And like ask her what she can find that can help track the motherfucker down.
After you see the ticks that
Mhm.
essentially the files were received, downloaded. You don't even need to do anything. You notice the footage gets deleted from the chat, and you basically get 15 as a response.
I presume it's time.
By now, you'd probably know it's.
We have about 15 minutes to spend while my people work on it, so
Let's go.
other than some mysterious truth in our domain, what else is troubling us this night?
It was this. Just this.
So, Gabriel,
Mm-hmm.
as you're having the conversation, I made a roll bit time ago. As you're having the conversation, you feel like all of a sudden, it's almost like you lost a few seconds and then regained a few seconds.
Well, I need to do a perception roll. That's concerning.
Mildly.
Jack and Abel, to you basically you just see Gabriel's expression.
Gabriel disassociation.
No, you only notice that like while you're having a normal conversation, almost abruptly, Gabriel's eyes just blink, and his head turns to the side. Not with a lot of emotion, but it's almost like he just felt a breeze to the back of his neck. To you, no time. Like he didn't black out or anything. You were having a conversation, and then something caught his attention.
Distance.
Quick out of character bit. These jokes are absolutely okay because out of all of these people, at least 50%, if not 75% of this room has, like, they're somewhere on the spectrum. So we good.
It's so true.
Like official.
I can attest because I know at least 2 of you are.
Why do you think I'm playing a guy that has no emotion?
So, back in character.
So, did it feel like it was really close, or?
It felt like it happened. For you to detect the direction, that's a bit more difficult. You know it happened. You know it just happened.
It happened again now.
Mm-hmm.
I say out loud as I look finally back to Jack as I come back to Earth.
How widespread is your perception of it?
It varies, but I'm able to find where things have happened in Santa Monica usually.
We are not there, though. Or the libraries around Santa Monica.
The library is basically close enough to Santa Monica that it wouldn't be... I mean, you don't know anything about Temporis, but...
Yeah.
Gabriel's knowledge? I mean, it's reasonable that you'd feel it. You'd have to be really, really, really far away not to notice. To get the direction, exactly, you'd have to be quite close and, you know, attentively watching out for it. In this case,
so like
it's
sort
not like...
of the mini case of the cathedral. Like most of people felt it, like few who knew like what's going on knew where it was.
Yeah, but for True Bruja, they can sense changes. So every time someone uses it, especially, you know, the closer the proximity, the more obvious it is. But every time there's some shift in time, they feel it.
Jack,
and I, if my memory doesn't fail me on this, it doesn't even need to be because a kindred did it.
Yeah.
Any change
It's
in
almost
time.
it functions almost like the first dot of time in Mages.
I was just gonna say maybe this is where Jack finally learns Temporis so he can help me sense things.
I mean, it's about time.
But
yeah, let's. I guess we can try and track it down.
it would be simpler to if I was not the only one with this sense of time. I say pointedly, looking at Jack. maybe a little creepy.
Isn't it gonna take a hot minute though? Nah, I'm fucking sorry. We just turned into evil for a minute.
My character just stares at you blankly. No blinking.
Let's track it down first.
Very well.
There's la sombra mobile.
All right.
Well, I guess we're gonna go based off where I guessed that it would appear next.
So you all get in your respective vehicles, begin to make your way towards the asylum. And Gabriel, these things are hard to track down after the fact, but you've been tracking this person down so long that it doesn't take very long for you to figure out that your hunch was correct. It definitely happened around the asylum. Maybe you didn't
Just the
envision it
asylum?
exactly where it would be, but the proximity, absolutely.
Fantastic. This is the place. I would like to look around for cameras.
The asylum does indeed have security cameras.
I need to get into the security system, or perhaps Persephone could help with that.
Well, would you like to be a part of Archbishop's back? Can I just go to the security because they probably would know me?
Yeah,
in some capacity.
they know all of you.
Yeah.
Like, if
Okay.
not by name, they know what you look like, and they know not to get in your way. If they are asked to help, they know they need to help. Maybe they don't know everything, so
Oh, sure.
yeah. So the
Silence
fact that you
of the
guys are
blood.
all apart from Abel, the fact that you're all on very inhumane paths probably makes these people nervous just looking at you. But yeah.
Hey, wait. Gabriel and I are just walking quieter, okay?
Yeah. Sort of have this.
I look at one
unnerving
like he's
aura
food.
about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at one like he might be food, and
Yeah,
that
well,
makes him uncomfortable.
You approach the
That's-
bouncer at the front, and he seems to sort of be shooing away some drunk teenager who's clearly been bar hopping and now wants to get into the asylum, but he was refused entry, and he's very frustrated. The bouncer basically talks him down, gives him a push, a few loud words and a very stern gesture for him to go away, and the kid doesn't really muster
Goes away.
the courage to continue this confrontation. Walks away. The man gets back in his post, looks to the queue,
Q.
then turns, sees the three of you approach, and his back straightens.
Is boss here?
I don't believe so. Would you like to come in?
Yeah, sure. Just have you seen about today a guy yay high, not really remarkable, sort of like
I will.
a bit crooked neck.
Yeah, I will demonstrate the crook neck thing a little bit. Performance skill.
No need. Given your past, I think it comes quite naturally to you. Guy looks at you, sort of with a bit of a
Confusion.
worried look on his face says, "I'm sorry, I've seen like 150 people pass by tonight, so..." Did he have
We
anything
need to
more
access the
specific?
security system.
Yeah, of course. One moment. Someone in the queue kind of complains that nothing's moving, and guy shushes the person before reaching to his radio. He says a few words to the radio, and then turns to you and says, "I need to do my job. However,
Yeah, by all means.
some of the security staff are coming here with whatever you need."
Understood.
We'll be in the lounge.
Of course. And the guy opens the door, allows you in. There are a few people in the queue that complain that they've been waiting for hours. They just
It's
get ignored.
LA. They should know better that preferential treatment exists.
You make your way inside to the usual lounges reserved for business. And eventually, another of the security personnel approaches your booth, and he places a small or compact laptop. Not a very powerful machine, clearly used for just, quick monitoring. And he places it on the table and offers to assist you in finding whatever you need to find.
Well, I give Gabriel a very pointy look.
Gabriel just pulls the laptop over to him and begins typing away to find what he wants, without a word to the guy that asked if he could help.
Yeah, the man seems like he's going to say something, but kind of gives up on offering
Knowing
more
who he's
help,
working for.
and then says, "Can I get you anything in the meantime?"
No,
No.
thank you.
You can get yourself a drink.
Not on the job, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But have a good evening. And if you
You too.
need anything, feel free to flag over one of the security personnel, and we'll take care of you. Yeah, he gives you a nod and goes back to work. Gabriel, opening up the laptop, you basically have access to essentially the entire night's recordings. There aren't as many camera angles, but still plenty.
Well,
What areas would you like to look out for? The cameras cover the front of the building, the back, and they cover multiple angles within the building, including the elevator and...
I'm gonna start with the front and the back.
All right. Well, I'm assuming you check for the exact timestamp where you felt this,
Yeah.
because you don't even need to look at your watch to do that. You search the footage. Footage seems uncorrupted. The time seems to progress very normally. And I will have you roll perception and investigation. Anyone who's looking at the footage can roll. Abel, since you've been quite quiet, is there anything in particular you'd like to attempt differently than your packmates, or are you joining in on the examination?
Perception investigation?
Yeah, I'm
Careful.
just gonna look at the tape. I mean, temporal disturbances isn't really my,
Gig.
forte, I guess.
Yeah.
Does tactical apply?
And not really. It applied before because you set up the cameras in specific ways.
Yeah.
Like you decided where
Okay.
things went. In this
Well, I'm gonna
case, not
spend
really.
another willpower.
That's careful apply.
Uh,
Yeah,
maybe, I suppose.
oh, good. Pele
Bit of a stretch, but I'll
Oh,
allow it.
but in all the footage from the church, the person moved a certain like
Way.
Certain distance, certain time, always
Yeah.
from west to east.
certain distance, certain time. So I would be looking for somebody who moves similarly. Does insightful apply?
Yes. Specifics matter in these roles.
Yes.
Right.
I have
I
presumably 2, and I didn't roll for careful. It's okay.
got 5.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
And Abel got 3, I think.
Read.
So,
Yay.
all of you managed to notice. However, Gabriel, you will notice a little bit something extra, and hold for a moment because I will need to add some after. So, firstly, what all of you notice. As you search the footage through the timestamp, it takes you a bit, but eventually you spot it. Now, the front of the asylum, if you had to look at a map, is pointed west, a bit southwest. It's basically pointed towards the ocean. You see, at an angle, man turn a corner, same figure, still covered. He wanders in, and then as he enters through the crowd, Gabriel, you notice that like the amount of time and the distance are exactly the same. He vanishes. Now the movements weren't the same. He stumbled in different ways. His footsteps weren't as timed as the others. So it's clearly not just like some loop or anything like that. But as the man entered the crowd, he vanished at exactly the same distance as before, exactly the same time. Now, I will do something a bit different here. Can I ask both Gabriel and Jack to deafen until I give you a visual sign like this?
Yep.
Very much. All right, Abel. As you search the footage, the voice speaks more. There it is. I know you don't feel. It's that same deja vu. We've met this person. We've seen the weight on their shoulders. Abel, you have some time to respond, or I call him back.
Why don't I remember meeting them?
I'm not sure. Why don't I remember? Be a better question.
Is it because we haven't met them yet?
Maybe not in the same way. This needs further research. Read it as you wish. I don't know what dangers you may open yourself if you mention this to your packmates, but whatever assistance I can provide, I will be here.
That was my reply.
Right.
So, but in
Just waiting
essence-
for Gabriel to come back. Yeah, okay, good. Right, so the three of you look at the footage, and you get the results you just got.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were certainly here. The next time
When was
we
it?
need
Like
to...
about half an hour ago, I presume.
If you ask out loud, Gabriel would tell you
Yeah, like we can see the timestamp. as well.
precisely how long, but it wasn't more than 40 minutes.
Well, we can always try to like lure the guy in.
He's walking almost like the longer he goes, the more difficult it gets.
just
I was-
to make sure neither of you has seen this guy before, other than on this footage. And
I'm pretty
part
sure
of
I
it.
didn't.
I have not. I would remember him.
When I look at the guy going through the crowd, I suppose we have the footage on loop right now or something.
Probably.
Yeah, if you
Maybe
wish
like
to
pause
put it
trying
on
to
loop, you
trade
can.
on the nerves.
If I, well, can I make out his features?
It is the one thing that doesn't seem to register on the camera, no matter what. He seems to be too covered up. There's this cloth over his face. There's barely any space for his eyes to peek through, and the camera cannot pick up any details of his face.
But if I look at the body language, is he like, what could I read anything out of it? I mean, does he seem like calculated, or is he anxious in some way? Is he
So
trying to get somewhere and is frustrated, or I don't know.
So given that there were various roles for this before, I'll just give you the information for free because you'd be able to examine it further. I'll just continue using the successes from before and build upon the information you already got. Watching him move from this angle, now with a bit of a fresher, more recent appearance on the screen, it doesn't look like he's in a hurry or anything, but it looks like he's trying to reach some place. But it's almost like a trip that he either finishes off camera or doesn't get to finish.
And Is he also moving from west to east
Mhm.
or east to west
West
in the
east.
club?
Well, given how the Eris works, it's not like there's gonna be a common place he can reach.
So what's in the east?
Camarillo, East LA, New York, Europe, Middle East, then Japan, but it's closer that way.
And if he walks long enough, he'll be back here.
Eventually, but it's give or take 40,000 kilometers.
Can I roll an occult check based on what I know of Temporus? Like, could he be like kind of stuck out of time partially or something?
Yeah, of course. Roll your temporis. No, actually, intercult, and
Yeah.
basically by any, if temporis is involved, any dot above what you already know, I'm going to add to the difficulty.
Would abstract thought apply?
I suppose you could use abstract thought to think of potential ways temporis could be involved, despite you not knowing specific the specific method. So I'll say yes.
Okay. Well, if the difficulty's 9, I got 5.
Oh. Um.
I
Is
don't know what the
temporis
difficulty is. I've got 6 Temporus.
is temporis involved? If he is a Cainite, almost certainly, because you don't get these, you don't sense these things happening unless there are some changes in time. So either it's absolutely something to do with temporis, or it's something else affecting this individual that is, you know, messing with time. Do you know exactly what is involved in this usage of temporis? No. But if you had to guess, with 5 successes, if you had to guess if this is something he is doing, you're not sure what he might be trying to achieve, but he'd need to be pretty powerful even if he's not succeeding at it. If someone's doing this to him, this is almost certainly something very, very out of your reach when it comes to temporis.
What if he has already done something in the past? And what we see here, moving
the answer
forward
to it?
to the future, is his journey.
And can we interrupt the journey?
If we can predict where he's gonna be at specific time, probably. I'm just gonna take like again the foldable map and just like with a pen like cross the lines where he was and like where he was going. Like maybe there's something like just drawing across the LA, like see if there's something interesting going on there.
So,
Like plus taking into account what happened 20 years ago.
so essentially going through the spreadsheet Gabriel has and putting it on a map, there is no pattern to where he's showing up. But you do notice it's not limited to Santa Monica. It is mostly in, but some of it bleeds through to the edges of Griffith Park, a bit to the war zone between downtown and Santa Monica. It bleeds to the south. There are a couple of appearances in Hollywood, and notably, you'd realize from the notes that if there is this consistent pattern, it is very, very possible that there are appearances that Gabriel did not witness or sense.
Yep.
But like the lines don't cross anything like
It's
important-ish.
absolutely random. You notice that there are a lot of repeats in the locations, but the locations are so numerous that that only stands out because of the sample size that Gabriel got by now.
Yeah.
That's literally the only reason.
It probably just makes like the northern part of LA just a bunch of lines. Parallel
Well,
fucking
it's
lines.
more like your map gets dotted with a bunch of... Because a map of LA is going to, like, if you draw a line, in the distance he's walking, it wouldn't show up as a line, it would be a dot. So basically you get a bunch of dots spread out through Santa Monica, but they're like in clumps, almost. Like he's showing up around the same areas, but not exactly in the same spot.
So like church, asylum, probably like some location in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I can bet some back on him appearing in Cameral territory as well.
What's the westernmost point that we know that where he appears?
I will point it out.
Yeah. So Gabriel, the westernmost point he got a location for is near the mansion where Bogdan is staying. Your recent Tbilisi arrival. However, Gabriel did note down that there have been locations he hasn't managed to pinpoint, which are further west. Well, further northwest.
Yeah. I don't see any fucking pattern to it.
What about...
And yet there's some, because I was able to predict that it would be here.
Is there a if we look at the exact timestamps of these appearances, does it look like he is also moving from west to east?
So let me try and clarify the question, so I can give you an accurate answer. Are you asking that if you were to like continue the path he's traveling on, you'd be able to connect some of these points? Is that it?
Yeah.
Like both space and time. So like 1 week he appears on the beach, 2 weeks he appears like about 2 weeks worth of walking later.
I'll say you can roll wits academics.
Did my ghoul send anything back?
She did. There is absolutely no record of any sightings of someone like this that she could find.
So suppose it's 5.
Yep, that is 5. You can draw a couple of lines that might connect, but with this sample size, you'd wager it's closer to, happenstance rather than an actual connection. It is possible that there is a connection, but there's no consistent enough pattern of these connections for you to say it's a definite thing that's happening.
Well, what I really meant is that is each location that he appears in, like in a certain time.
No.
Further, like,
so the times when he appears are
Yeah.
somewhat consistent. The distance between those times is always the same in those batches where the guy shows up. The locations are absolutely random.
okay, so he jumps back from a location that is,
Yeah.
for example,
Just around the place, but like not consistently throughout the
Yeah.
west to east
It's
line.
not like in these batches you can trace like an actual path that he's taking. Sometimes like he shows up here, and 2 weeks after he shows up here, and 2 weeks after he shows up here, and there's no pattern to the location itself.
so is like he could show up in the church, then after 2 weeks he will show up at the asylum, and 2 weeks later he might show up at the church again.
Yeah, for example.
You know what I kinda forgot to ask? Like, does it look like he's dressing era appropriately? Or like, maybe like slightly out of fashion, but not like he's dressing like people 100 years ago.
An interesting question.
Uh-huh.
Let me, because there's a specific rule that will give you an actual answer that is useful. Because in short, the answer is it looks contemporary enough. He might just have a strange sense of fashion or something. Fashion is a very fluid thing. So I would say... a question that is somewhat related to this, just because I kind of want to make this a very weird role for you. How often do you keep up with fashion, like modern fashion? Like, for yourself? How often do you dress up to modern standards?
About like every 5 to 10 years, when it's like worn out and the fashion sense is somewhat changed.
Okay. Well, since I just want to make this a very weird role because this stat doesn't really get a lot of attention that it should, and because this is actually something that I usually factor into the stat, roll appearance and investigation, please.
My God.
Because if you keep up with the times when it comes to fashion, it means you are aware of what to, put on to belong to the era you're in.
Yeah, appearance is never used. That's like that's a shame. It's fun stuff.
But appearance includes how you dress, how well you present yourself, not just how you look.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm using it here. If you feel that's not an appropriate
No. That's actually a fair use of appearance. And I spend the willpower, so pelese. Holy fuck.
Okay, so 2 successes.
Yeah.
Right. It looks like it could belong to the past 10 years. Hard to tell if it's because of damage, age, or just style. But it looks like whatever he's dressed in has gone through the fucking ringer. Like, he's either dressed in sort of that very goth attire of, like, loose, ragged clothing. Or he's wearing stuff that is modern, but just got worn out
So much use, yeah.
unreasonably fast.
But it's not like the traditional three-piece suit plus coat has been like out of fashion for 100 years.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so by the looks of it, like I can probably assume that like he's been wearing that outfit for like decades.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Or at least he's been using it enough that it looks like he's been wearing it for decades.
He either got really fancy, like, you know, worn style clothes, or he's been wearing it for a minute. But at least we know sort about where he's gonna be in 2 weeks.
Do we? If the
It's
places
like
where
by the batches, like, is there like consistent radius?
Nope.
we just established that you can, show up anywhere.
I will say, because it's quite an obvious thing that both of you, like, either intelligence or investigation dots, both of you have enough to notice. The locations he appears in are completely random. Yet Gabriel, for some reason, called where this guy was gonna show up before he showed up.
So
Yeah, how did you do that?
How did I predict where
predict the
he would be?
unpredictable.
Yeah.
I correlated the data, and it all made sense to me.
So your best guess then where he's gonna appear next time in 2 weeks?
Well, now it'll be in 13 days, and such hours and seconds.
Yeah. He gives
No
you,
shit,
like,
Sherlock, but like the
same
place.
time.
I pause and consider with everything I've done, and I'll write down this new stuff on the paper as I consider where it would be next.
Your mind, as you consider where that might show up in then his next appearance, you don't really know. Like, you're trying to follow your gut here, but kind of it's really hard to guess right now. Maybe it's a thing
In the
where
months.
when it starts to get closer to the time of his appearance, you can tell. Maybe it's just a hunch, but right now you couldn't make a guess, even if
I
you
need to
wanted to.
consider and think about it before I can give you a definitive location. I think when it becomes closer to time that I can give you a better answer. At least one that would make sense to your brain. He looks at you as if he might be looking down at you. You're not sure.
Oh no, how not offended I am. Which gives us 13 days. Yada time to prepare, I suppose.
Yes. And we should all be ready to arrive at that location quicker than we did today.
How, like, from my point of view, how much time was, like, between me waking up and the guy appearing?
If you
Like,
had
enough to
to
prepare next time?
if you had to make an assumption, closest guess you can make is about an hour.
So,
How-
a bit of time to prepare.
Did you know already yesterday that he would be here?
Gabriel, because this is information that you might not know. You woke up and you know, just thinking about it, you kind of got the feeling that it would be the asylum. But the night before, you didn't know.
I woke up today and I just sort of understood where he would be. I did not go down for the day sleep knowing that information.
Which leaves us narrower window of opportunity that I would like, but
I can text you a location and we simply go and meet there.
if you woke up around yay time, like, that would give us about hour or so. So yeah. In the meantime, you can, I don't know, visit East LA, check if there's something you can spot.
I'll keep looking.
Because, like, maybe the downtime between his appearances here is, like, the other side of the city.
I think it's possible that those spaces where I can't sense him for a month or so, that he may still be appearing other places outside of my perception.
Yeah, I'll quickly check, like, if there's still diablerie signs in his aura.
By now, they've vanished.
It takes a year. At least.
Then they'd be fading, but they're still there. Apologies, I thought the time was shorter. Actually,
No,
let me
it's
double check something.
a year plus. It's a year plus.
Let me double check something important.
Unless there's specific merit, they're not gonna...
Yeah. That's what I was checking for. No, they're still there. They're fading slowly, but they're still there.
So stay clear of downtown, because diablerie. I'll check the downtown though.
How long does the security recording get archived in the asylum? Or how long?
While none of you would know this, Gabriel can procure the information from the laptop.
I will do so. I will just tap away and find out.
So, Gabriel, you find two things. Number one, it is not recorded in any cloud or anything like that. It's recorded locally, and this computer, the reason why you can access it is not because it's like it's connected via a wire, not wireless. And second, it stays there for about a night, and I guess deleted immediately.
So like 24/7, 24 hours.
Not just that, there is essentially an option which you would imagine is turned on most of the time, where it's not recording anything. And the only reason why you wager it's turned on today is because Iris isn't here.
Yeah.
Which probably wants to know what
can
the
I
fuck is going on.
I want to save copies onto my thumb drive.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
I'll make a note too. Like, not of everything, just where the guy we're looking for is. You know.
The fucking snippet of a minute long.
By the way, the amount of time the guy appears on camera, like, in not more than that.
That's fine. I still add it to the database. You know what I'm saying? And I don't take anything else.
Data science, bitches.
All right. So you save this. Anything else you guys would like to do?
I think I would like to return the laptop to the poor security man.
Yep. You wave him over. The guy, to your table, says, "Can I get you anything?"
No, I believe you would like this returned to you, yes?
Thank you very much. Is there
Company
anything
property, after all.
else you might need tonight?
Not that I'm aware of. I glance at my companions.
Has Iris told where she's off to?
Well, the boss simply said to, well, of course she's not going to be in the office. She's, what I can tell, working remote. That wouldn't be for me to know. It's up to my manager.
Oh, okay. That's okay. No. Anything strange happened recently in the club?
Business as usual. There is the odd fight here and there.
That's business as usual.
Yeah. I mean, I think last night we had some kid puking his guts in the middle of the club, so we had to call an ambulance. But otherwise, business as usual.
Yeah. No, that will be about it.
If there's anything else we can get you, flag us over. Otherwise, enjoy the rest.
Okay.
And he makes his way back to his post.
Cool. I suppose we can continue on with our night. There's not much else to do here. Or now.
For now, yeah.
Right.
Yes, no. No point in wasting time.
All right. And as the three of you depart from the asylum with a new curious case on your hands, we will take a short 15-minute break. Be back very soon. And when we do return, we will return with a scene, Abel, and potentially Jack. So stand by.
See you around.
Ooh.
Welcome back. We return the following night as Abel waits in his car parked near the church where Ramon has recently, not so recently, set his banner. He waits with Jack and Gabriel close by, watching the front gates of the church. Seems to be a quiet night, not a lot of activity at the moment. Until your watch tells you it's now 11 p.m. And almost on cue, the doors begin to open. A few people walk out, then a few more. Seems like some sort of service. And shortly after, you do see the nun helping out two people leaving the church, along with Isaac, who gives her a nod, and the nun goes back inside, giving him somewhat snake-like smile. As Isaac adjusts his coat, makes his way to the other side of the street, spots you, and begins to make his way to your car.
Well, I guess we have room in the car.
Plenty. If it's
I
your
will
car,
scoot
yes.
over because I imagine I'm the one in the back, so I will just slide over.
It might be that you're in Abel's van, but well, not van.
Oh, okay.
Trailer.
Oh well, let's say that you're in my trailer.
Yeah, let's say it's the trailer, so it's basically a room with wheels. So fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, while you're in there, it looks a bit different from the inside than it does from the outside.
Would you care to
Yeah.
describe?
Well, it's almost as if it's a bit bigger in the inside. Oh, and it's kind of furnished. There are bookshelves, writing table.
Neat.
From the
That-
environment alone, you can tell that Abel spends a lot of time keeping his mind sharp.
Yeah.
Isaac walks to by the side of the trailer and eventually knocks on the door.
I'll pull it open.
Yeah.
Good to see the three of you. May I?
Please do.
Yes. Well,
He
yes.
steps inside.
Invite away.
It's been some time. Been quite busy as of late. New Year's is always somewhat of a busy time for us. What's left of the congregation. How have you been?
Same old.
Worried?
I imagine. I should apologize. Clan matters have been hectic.
Yes, I
Isaac, as
believe.
a member of the clan, you can officially call them a bunch of fucking twats. You know that, right?
I am fully aware. I see some hope for them. Patience
I'm not saying there
wins-
isn't, but some of them are.
Patience wins most battles.
Well, at least you're not chained or staked
Not physically.
or compelled to have someone present during conversations.
I should probably clear up that particular aspect of recent nights. There was some lack of trust.
What was it caused by?
Well, as Jack might be able to testify himself, depending on his experiences, the clan doesn't always look favorably on certain branches of the family. Fortunately, I
Yeah.
was cursed since the embrace to be part of one of these branches that is not so favored among the wider clan.
Yours is slightly less obvious than the other, though.
True.
But neither here nor there. As long as you can do what we do, they should shut the fuck up.
Tends to be the way. Unfortunately, my outlook on life is quite different than most of the clan as well. But like I said, patience wins most battles, and it seems patience has bought me some freedom. Expect that freedom will only grow. Hopefully.
So, have you found a way to make yourself useful to your clan?
I believe useful is the appropriate term, yes?
And pray tell, how does that affect your own plans? Our plans?
Well, I've been restricted somewhat. A few months. But
Is it because of what happened with my mark?
it's because of what I am. I assure you,
I perhaps
you are
do
not.
not understand what you are.
I should probably make things a bit clearer. Apologies. I am not from the main clan La Sombra. Was embraced into a bloodline that is gifted in talents often looked down upon. So my approach has saved me from the worst of it. I can reach into the other side beyond what talented folks like Jack and Jasper can. I can speak to things one should not speak to. Should definitely not listen to.
As the saying goes, if you stare too much into the abyss, it stares back. In his case, it's not the saying.
I believe the official name of the bloodline is Angeli Satter.
Black Angels.
Interesting. Well, at least your mind has gotten you through the worst of it.
Uh, faith can conquer a lot of difficulties in life. Why should it be different in death? So, my pupil has surpassed me in some ways. Something I'm quite proud of. And he says this gesturing towards Abel.
Abel seems to have wisdom about him, even if sometimes he fails to maintain a serious demeanor.
Partially the reason
That's part of the charm.
partially the reason I accepted him as a student. Not everybody has a mind that can handle what this ability demands of you.
Well, my main concern currently is that I think we need to communicate more to avoid certain things from happening again and again.
I understand. I suppose I allowed my good nature to feed a problem that should have been snuffed out at the start. But the clan now knows what I am, know what I face, and I believe they will understand that some things, some demands cannot be met.
So you're allowed to continue on your chosen path.
As far as that path can take me. Struggles are becoming more apparent as time passes, but slight blessings also have graced me as of late. I've been far less plagued than I used to be. Far less. Things have been more manageable.
Good.
Since when?
I believe you know when this started.
Well, yes. In any case, I would like for you to let me know if you receive any new information,
Of course.
and we can then discuss and decide whether that information needs to be acted upon.
I think that is a fair request, but we should attempt to achieve a bit more than just that. My current situation is somewhat volatile. Rivalries, politics.
Anything I should be concerned about?
I believe you're exposed to it as much as I am, even if you don't know it. But now I believe you should, if you are willing to take the burden onto yourself for the time being, I believe you should take the helm of these operations. My pupils, all of them except you, have either faltered or died. Those who faltered have been corrected as much as possible. I could never manage to save someone like you did. I believe, Abel, that you are currently someone who can pursue our mission with much more efficiency than I can.
Will do what I can.
Of course, as always, if recruitment or influence is what is required, as always, I am far better with my words than I am with the occult.
Okay. Let's see where this goes.
Of course. In the meantime, I believe I should ask how Caroline is.
To you now, as a storyteller, how is Caroline doing? I last time I presented her with an option.
She still hasn't answered, but she's, as far as you can tell, she's as good as can. She hasn't had any lapses, and you've made sure that she is watched well enough that if something does go wrong, you will know. If not by
I
your
believe
own...
I could help with that. Technological means, at least.
Sure.
If
I mean, I mean, I'm not so overly concerned as to where she is and what she does, but rather than if there's anything she's not telling me. I'm not sure if that information can be gathered by
There is a
technological
way.
means. But in essence, I think she is doing good.
She does have a strong... And what happened to her, it could have happened to anyone. This is the reason why we have to keep such watchful eye over you.
Yes, clarity.
Is she still on that path she was taught by the nun?
I personally
Been
wouldn't...
trying to bring her, kind of like turn her around a bit.
Can't tell you.
I assume that's what I've been doing, right?
Yeah, but that is what you've been. Because I
There
don't
is a
see
slight
Abel
issue with
doing
your
anything
path.
else.
There is a slight issue with your path. She can't really go back to humanity.
But it is.
It is what it is.
Isaac seems to almost not physically pace, but he seems to be pacing almost mentally. And he then says, I can't tell you she's had a change of heart. What I can tell you is having the clan watch me as close as they have, it has its advantages. I can tell you she has not been to the church in quite some time.
I see.
In any other case, I'd say that was a thing, but given the parties present, the influence we have,
You don't say. But yeah,
I mean-
Abel, there is sort of a way to know if she's lying to you. To know if she is doing something shady. I don't have any single problem with that. You, on the other hand, might.
Well, I try to spend as much time with her as I can. For better or for worse, I don't think she.
And yet, there was
She's
that
too
time.
afraid. I think she might be too afraid to lie to me at the moment.
You know what we're dealing with, though.
fear may be a brutal, but I can assure you it is an efficient, especially when the fear is very much real.
I need to.
That is true.
I need to contemplate on what we're doing once again.
As I said, I think for the time being, you are the one who is best equipped to make the decisions regarding our mission. Recent events have very clearly demonstrated that I cannot be blindly trusted.
Which is a shame.
He sort of tilts his head down. Doesn't take any effort to read like genuine guilt and shame expression.
This is the way it is. It's not like all of us are faultless and you have done something wrong.
Well, I mean, we can only move forward. Or maybe somebody can move backwards. I don't know.
No, moving backwards is counterproductive. You either stay in place or you move wherever you can move. For better or for worse.
In any case, I'm glad to see your situation improving. The last time I was here, it didn't look so hopeful.
Thankfully, I had some fellow clan members who made sure I didn't hurt myself further. And he gives Jack sort of a side glance.
Anytime. Just by chance, do not die on me, okay?
I don't believe I will, though the quiet might just be the entities playing tricks on my mind, trying to put me at ease. Let my guard down. But hopefully, that is not the case.
Abel, you see Abel smiling a slight smile, a knowing smile. His eyes are not smiling, though.
Yes?
No, go on.
I'm going to mention on matters regarding the sect, the inner working sect. I'm sure you've noticed as of late there is some opposition that has been built over time. Opposition to the current. I believe I procured something that might lessen the effect of certain parties that wish to take control. I'm not entirely sure why, but I had I have an impulse, an inspiration to bring this to you, Jack. And he glances to the window, making sure there's no one watching, where he reaches into his coat pocket and takes a folded glove.
Dear God. And they said you lack ambition.
I don't understand.
Is it from who I think it is?
It is from Ramon, but I just, for some reason, felt it was important. There are things he can do to lie in his mind, but his soul cannot. I know this matters
That
to
is true.
him. Don't know is why I want to give it to you. But I believe
I'm very certain that Jack just feels the fucking tingling in his heart.
you know damn well I don't need to describe it by now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Did you make sure you're not gonna be, it's not gonna bleed to you?
It might, but can't do. Not without. So I will simply forget this item here, and he places it on this like small desk next to some papers that Abel has been working on.
And I will simply forget you brought it up.
And I will simply not have a fucking clue what's going on.
By the way, Isaac, I presume you have decent degree of knowledge about the shadow, how we work with the shadows, right?
To some extent. It's not my specialty, but I'm as well
You can
versed
do
as
some.
your average man.
Good. In case you need to contact me or Iris or anybody else, I'm pretty certain that it is not really trackable. Remember how I do my little shadow high?
If it allows me to respond, then I'll make use of it.
Oh, it will allow you to send messages.
Sure to use it when I can.
If
Might
you
take
don't mind.
some time to learn.
If you don't mind, I will just upload it into your mind and you practice on your own.
Of course, and if possible, also ask that you forget I left that item.
By all means.
He poses
I will-
no restrictions, so I won't have you roll.
I will just translate the knowledge to him. And then the power of Mr. Sirius 6 allows me to like steal the mind, and like for a while I can like I have access to knowledges of certain individual. Can I try and like just take away the memory? Not even block it, just simply
yoink
take it
it?
away. Yeah.
Okay, for that
It's
I
not
will
specified
have
in
you...
the power. Yeah.
For that I will have you roll, because technically what you do with that
Yeah.
power, if I believe you consume impressions that you would usually sense with spirit's touch, not actual memories. But
No. It's Mr. Syria 4
oh,
to like wipe the fingerprints. Mr. Syria 6 is
Yes,
still the
yes.
mind. I didn't add it yet, but like I have access to all his memories. But eventually he regains the access back, and like he doesn't know I'm there. But like I can do something about it.
yeah, and he's a willing subject, so it's not like you can't
Yeah.
do it.
And like
Something.
I'm just gonna try to do it not with dominate, because it can be undone, but like with
So
Mr. Syria,
I
because
will have you make the roll, not to get a chance of success, but to see how accurate you are in doing it, because there is... Let's just say you might be chewing more than... You might be biting off more than you can chew.
Originally the power is perception subterfuge. I presume careful applies.
Yeah.
And I must spend another willpower on the bitch. Pelese, it's difficulty his willpower. Oh my god.
Willpower has been strengthened as of late, but that's a 10, so I don't think he can overcome that shit.
Yeah. Plus willpower spent.
That is plenty. So I believe that's enough for you to avoid the worst of it. But I will have you make a courage roll at difficulty 4.
Listen. Hell yeah.
Okay. So you manage to hold yourself together, but for a very, very brief moment, you get a glimpse, just a glimpse, a hint of a memory from before recent events. Just a slight memory of Isaac going about his night as usual. Only from Isaac's perspective, him in a room alone is to you
Like being in a crowd.
no, it's like having crowds of. It's like having the abyss screeching in your ears, only it's multiple entities at once trying to make you do their bidding. Isaac is just going about his day. And just a glimpse of that, for a very brief second, you almost grasp the situation, you almost understand it fully, but you steel yourself enough that you're able to just refocus on your task, and you don't fully grasp what it was, so you managed to avoid the worst of it. But you still sort of, if you had to breathe, this would make you go,
fuck. Yeah.
and as far as you can tell,
I
you've
won't
removed everything
comment
that you needed
on
to
it.
remove.
Nice. Well, in case somebody's gonna try to pull some tricks on you, you know how to get to me.
I believe I can grasp this trick with some practice.
Oh yeah, just practice sending it to me.
When I think back on what Isaac has said tonight and how he has maintained himself, does he sound truthful?
I would know.
So, I will give you one bit of information for sure from your Auspec's passive power. If you want further information, I can allow you to make a perception and empathy roll. However, the decision has to be made ahead of the result.
Yeah, I'll do that roll as well. I have a specialty in empathy for recognizing truths.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that
This
a-
applies.
Okay. Few successes, I suppose.
Yeah, plenty. Isaac is not a hard person to read. He's very much the type of person that wears his emotions. Puts his emotions up front. Yeah, and while he can be socially cunning if he needs to, it's often by twisting the emotion he's feeling to look like something else rather than masking them. He's not a person who hides what he feels very well. So you can tell very easily, especially with your passive Auspex power, that he is, for most of this conversation, he's been very regretful, feeling guilty, but not for things he's doing, for things he's done for.
Yes, Slavic guilt.
Yeah, he's very clearly, his mind is very clearly lingering on things he's been faltering at. You detect no hint of dishonesty on his part. And the emotions do shift slightly after Jack is rooting around in his head, but for the most part, they stay the same. And there is not a hint of dishonesty or malice or misdirection that you can detect.
But does my role allow me to kind of feel as if he's not telling me the whole truth.
Oh, he is absolutely telling you everything. And you sense no desire to hide anything, basically.
Okay.
So if he
Alright.
is not telling you something, he's not doing it on purpose, if that makes sense.
Okay. I is Jack done?
Pretty much. I guess.
When Isaac becomes coherent again, I just say, I'm glad we had this talk, and we should meet again soon.
Of course. I wouldn't have it any other way. If possible. Perhaps I should visit. I think it might do Caroline some good seeing someone else who's been not so saintly recover.
Yeah. And we can discuss philosophies as well.
That
I'm not one to talk about religion. I think I will go to the car.
Oh, technically you are, but you basically step
Or
to the
think I
side.
will
and-
make sure nobody's watching the vehicle.
Yep.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Go check on the cameras.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna go check on my cameras.
Yep. So as Gabriel, takes his little laptop case and begins to check all of the recordings, Isaac basically he seems receptive to your invite until something catches his thoughts, and he almost winces a bit and says, just also, if you could, how is Missville?
Better for now. After all, this business with Caroline was very taxing.
Sure.
But she is doing her best in mending the bridge between them.
If there is any objection on her part, I will gladly give her space. I am aware we weren't on the best terms.
Well, one step at a time. I'm sure there is a capacity in her to forgive. Maybe greater than anyone I've seen.
I'm fully aware that redemption cannot be earned in a day.
Well, we are all very protective of things we care about.
I don't think I don't think I am in a position to my recent failures. In the position to work as best I can to redeem myself in the eyes of the people I've wronged.
And that is all we can do to make amends.
I should return to the church, lest my former captors grow suspicious.
Yes. Well, I was half hoping that there would be some sort of confrontation today. Looks like things have taken a slight turn to the better. Regarding your situation. So enmities will have to be postponed.
I can't speak for... I can't judge how worthy the price was to pay for it. I can tell you... I can tell you the risk was appreciated and will not be forgotten.
Oh.
Do not worry.
Nothing
I forget barely anything.
I will inform you of anything that might come up. I must return to the church.
Stay safe out there. I heard there are some monsters who drink blood.
Stay strong, you two. And he looks down the hallway to Gabriel, then looks to you two and says, "Wish him my best when he gets his eyes off the screen."
That will
Sure will.
might take some time, but we will let him know.
Isaac turns and he places his hand on the handle of the door. And after a moment, he just steal mind and just exit the car. Jack, as the door is closing, you feel a very strong impulse to just leap at that glove.
Self-control 5, baby.
You wanna roll?
Sure.
How about it?
Because my past about fucking self-control. Bless.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
Yeah,
Grandpa might be a bitch, but like I'm my own bitch as well.
you basically feel yourself like you're almost forced to clench your fist to keep your hand from just reaching out, and you take your eyes off of it almost forcefully, almost like it physically hurts to do it.
Yeah.
And you manage to hold yourself back, but the call doesn't go away really. It just you suppress it for the time being.
I'm not sure he can read my mind, but like to myself, I was thinking, not now. Tremont might be in the fucking church.
Get anything? Maybe he heard.
Sure.
Maybe he didn't.
Auspex is not clan-wide discipline. Bottoms for some reason is. Yeah. Where to, brother?
I didn't have any more plans for tonight.
Library?
Other than maybe think and write a bit.
Yeah, see. If the shit was a glove hits the fan, Isaac is in for the fucking world of pain if it comes up.
So, are you into Michael Jackson, or why did you need this glove?
Oh. Do I assume Abel knows about Grandpa?
He knows enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he was present when the Cain happened, and he helped you mask it.
Remember the Cain?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, same sort of deal.
So you are slowly draining Ramon of his artifacts.
With some added benefit, I suppose. Or it is a curse, and I don't know. We are fucking damned. By the way, I meant it like when I offered to teach Caroline my pass. It's not that horrible if you think about it. Just observing.
I have my own idea.
I'm pretty sure you do.
I just need to bounce some ideas.
Oh, there is always another option. Just in case. Sometimes the pass just doesn't pass. Hee. But yeah. Mind dropping me at the library?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I step behind the wheel and start the van.
As you make your way to the library, once in a while, Abel, you look to the rearview mirror to see that Jack.
Nope.
Well, actually, no. Yeah, Lassombra.
Yes, exactly.
You might look to like the mirror and
at the red light. He might
you basically back. Like bring a red light. You might glance back. You basically see that Jack sits on the opposite end of the room from the table where the glove is. But it's almost like he's not really thinking about it. He's not like willing himself to do it. He hasn't taken his eyes off of that glove the entire trip. Until you get to the library. He gets up, bids you farewell, and carefully wraps the glove up without making physical contact with it.
Yeah, like in a fucking handkerchief.
And as each of you go about your business for the rest of the night, we will end tonight's session. I hope everyone enjoyed. Remember to subscribe to YouTube, catch up on previous episodes, and join us next week for the next episode of Beyond Armageddon. Night.
Save 50 suckers.
Night.